Alright, so today we're going to be looking at the Blackmagic Design Atem SDI Extreme ISO. Quite a long name, but this is a big advancement from the first one of these they made a few years ago. So we're in the middle of our season, so we haven't really got to make much of our videos that we usually do. But this one is kind of a game changer, so I thought that we would kind of pause to show you what all this can do. So we're going to open it up, get it out of the box, show you a few features, and this will just be kind of an overview of it, and the first hands-on one I think that's going to be on YouTube. So when you first open it up, this is very similar to the other Atem Mini Extremes or the Atem Minis, and you have your universal power supply that you're able to switch out depending on what country you're in. And for the Extreme, for those of you that are familiar with it, there are a ton of buttons on here. So we're going to take a look and just kind of see what all you have. And the thing that we're very excited about is up here our select bus bar, which we'll go through in more detail in another video. But the big thing that's going to set this apart from your other Atem Extreme ISO is that this is SDI. So we'll go back over the buttons in just a minute, but we're going to go ahead and flip this thing over and let you see the back. Alright, so you've got your power in, the Atem control, which is going to be for network, two USB-Cs, an A and a B, that way you can record and you can have an output going to Facebook, YouTube Live, whatever you want to do. Or you can end up doing two different platforms at the same time. So all of these guys are SDI outputs. So you have 4 SDI outputs, and then we end up having 8 SDI inputs, which is great. There's a mic 1 and a mic 2 input and a headphone out. I was really hoping, I'm not really sure how they could fit it in the footprint they have, but I was really hoping to see your mic 1, mic 2 might end up being an XLR or something just a little bit more significant than the 1/8 inch input. Looks like they have a very large vent here, and there's a fan inside. You can hear it when you power up for sure. And then just our standard power. So this is the back, much more different than the HDMI version, which we'll pull out and just let you see for a comparison. So for comparison, here is our first generation Blackmagic Atem Mini Extreme ISO, and we still have our 2 USB-C outs. Here's the big difference: you only have 2 outputs, HDMI 1, HDMI 2 out. So you could have a multi-view out and you could have a program out, and you were kind of stuck with that. So then you have your 8 inputs, and then you have mic in 1 and 2 and headphones, very similar to the other one. So over here our biggest difference is going to be you have 4 outputs. We're going to get in the software in a minute, and we're going to see if you can actually have one of those as an auxiliary out, or if they all just have to be dedicated either as a multi-view or a program out. So there are the two side by side, just where you can kind of see. As far as the footprint, exactly the same, and we're about to look at the buttons, which should be about identical as well. And after a very quick look between the two consoles, the button layout is identical. They haven't changed anything at all. So you have your typical 8 inputs, and then you have Media Player 1, Media Player 2, the Super Source, which is something incredible that I believe is only available on the Extreme. Black, your cut, your auto fade, fade to black, and then the really exciting part is the select bus that is up here, which we'll go into in another video. But for a mixer this price range, there's really not too many things out there that allow you to do so many things with the 8 inputs for such a very low amount of money. Honestly wish these weren't here. Your camera controls, I know if you have Blackmagic cameras they can be useful, but you can also do it in the software, and it would definitely make this less confusing for people that are not familiar with video gear. So up at the top you also have control that is hard button control for the audio, for mic 1, mic 2, and for your headphones, or you can do that in the software as well. And then you have the picture-in-picture control, where you can turn that on and off, which will be in conjunction with your DVE, and the macros, which are super useful. So 6 macros that you can easily get to on the control surface itself, or you can get into more that's in the software. And then we end up having our record and stream, where you can actually just hit stop or record, or make it go on air or off as easy as just hitting it on this device. And then you have upstream and downstream key. The thing that I will kind of tell you that we have found out from all of our other Blackmagic in the Atem Mini type platform, the other ones we haven't had a problem. So it might be a firmware update that has fixed this by now, but we have figured out if you hook one of these guys up to a PC or Mac, and then you hook it up to a different PC or Mac, it does change your video recording resolution to the lowest bitrate possible. So every time that you plug one of these into a computer, it's a good thing to get into the Atem control software and just make sure that you do have the bit rate selected that you would like for your recording. So saying that, we're now going to hook this up and we're going to check out just basically what all different options you have for the outputs on this new one compared to the old one. So of course, since this is a brand new controller, we ended up having to go and get some new firmware. So go to blackmagicdesign.com, click on support, type in whichever one you bought. So we had the Atem SDI, so we will just type in Atem SDI. And then we have Atem SDI Extreme ISO. When you click on that, you will go to the bottom and we have Atem Switchers 8.8 update, which hopefully we'll have that in there. We're almost downloaded at the bottom and we will see. So this is one of our tough books. There's going to be another video coming out on these incredible little machines. This is one of the older ones, the CF31s, and they are very tough. We'll say that. We have thrown them, not really taken very good care of them, and they continuously turn on. And I believe it's 1800 nit, so bright as all get out screen when you're outside. And they can operate in water, and they are touchscreen, which is nice. So we'll talk about that in another video. Hopefully this thing will be downloaded and we can see if we have control access. So we ended up having to uninstall the old software and reinstall the new software, and it just so happened that it was time for Windows to do an update. Yay, Windows. So now that we've got that going, here's what we can do, which is great, and it worked like I was hoping it would. So USB-C connection instead of doing it via Ethernet at this time. But when you go up to outputs, you can select whatever you want for those 4 outputs, which is so great. So you can make output 1, and also if you ever need to do it, the controls for that are here. So output 1, at any time you can change it to be inputs 1 through 8, your clean feed, multi-view program, whatever you want it to be. So, so on this, you could change it either here or on the console. On all the other 4 or 3 outputs, you have to control it from here. So you could have output 1, let's say it's already set up as program. Output 2, we can make it be multi-view. The great thing here and now with these other outputs, output 3, you can let it be camera 2 is what it's labeled as, but it can be labeled as anything. So then at that point you would have your basic whatever's coming into that input, which could be somebody's computer, going to a just fold-back monitor for them to be able to see. And then output 4, if you really wanted to, you can make it be a clean feed. And by making it be the clean feed, if you had any type of logos, downstream key, upstream key, or anything, that won't show up in their monitor. So it would basically be the mix that you're showing in the program minus all the accessories you've done. So really cool that you have control over all of those. Everything else looks about the same for our usual control here. Then all of your other upstream, downstream controllers. Let's see here. So on our output here, this is where it was changing our streaming. So you might want to just make sure that you're always in whatever bit rate you want to be for that. And I'm pretty sure the record stream and the live stream are basically mimicked for the recording. So make sure that you have your bit rate, whatever you want to do, or it won't work too well. So this is just a brief overview, just kind of get you started to look and see the difference. The reason that we think that this guy is a game changer is because with all the SDI in and SDI out, it is pro grade. We're just not a big fan of HDMI inputs or HDMI outputs. This kind of brings it up to pretty similar to some of our bigger Blackmagic devices, except it's very small, easily compact, and easy to move wherever you want to. So really excited to have those 4 outputs on the back. That's going to give us a lot more control on being able to do the different types of scenarios that we just went over. I think this is going to be really great, and it's for the price, it's just going to change everything. I mean, I definitely remember when we first got into video, we paid $35,000 for a small little controller that could do 6 inputs from Roland. So it came a long way for the amount of money, and being able to do this via pretty much anywhere if you're hooked up to a network, it is pretty incredible for the price point. So if you have any questions, just let us know, and please hit like and subscribe.